Is there really a law that makes dying illegal? Yes, and I'm not joking. This law is active right now in 2025, with a pretty insane scientific reason behind it. But that's only the beginning. Imagine being whipped for chewing gum, or get fined for measuring your waistline. Today I reveal 7 ridiculous laws still active in 2025. With reason, penalties and twists that will leave you speechless. And to kick things off, let's land in Thailand. The heat here might lead you to do something seemingly harmless, but doing this thing it could be very expensive. Ever been so sweaty you just wanted to take off your shirt while driving? Well, that's illegal here. And yes, the law is still enforced in 2025. The reason? For public decency, especially in tourist areas with many visitors. But think about it. In a country where temps hit 40 degrees Celsius, how do you survive? What about the fines? For those who don't respect the law, the fine is 1000 baht, around $29, and if you do it more than once, you could even face arrest. The local police are officially allowed to stop you just for this. And if Thailand's heat made you sweat, get ready to be stuck to the screen. Literally. To do that, let's fly in Singapore, a city obsessed with cleanliness, where a simple chewing gum is treated like a dangerous weapon. Since 1992, importing or selling gum has been banned, and yes, it's still active in 2025. The reason behind it? Because spit-out gums clog trains, elevators, and doors, causing chaos and insane cleaning costs. But there are some exceptions, like therapeutic gum with nicotine. But watch out, selling it illegally can cost you up to 100 Singapore dollars, almost 78,000 US dollars, and repeat offenders can face prison. The question is, what if you spit it on the street? Well, you risk public caning under anti-vandalism laws. Yes, you heard that right. From Singapore's strict order, we move to Switzerland, where even the most private sounds can be a problem. Yes, I mean this. In some apartment buildings, flushing the toilet after 10 PM is against the rules, and it's still enforced in 2025. Okay, but why ban something like that? This rule was made to perceive peace in buildings, especially the ones with thin walls. Ban was also to not disturb neighbor at late night. The fine is around $230. If a neighbor or someone you hate reports you repeatedly, in extreme cases you could even be evicted. This rule also applies to shower or other loud noises. So the question is, what happens if you have to pee? And while you think about it, I remind you that we are only halfway through this absurd ranking. For the next stop we have to fly to Australia, more precisely to Victoria, where even changing a simple light bulb can become a electrical drama. The law is clear. Unless you are a licensed electrician, you can replace a bulb. Something as basic as swapping a LED is technically a crime. The reason? To prevent shocks or fires, even in the comfort of your home. The fine starts around 10 Australian dollars, can climb into thousands if serious damage is caused. From the forbidden line of Australia, we land in Japan, where the control goes beyond the actions, directly on your body. The metabol law since 2008 requires companies to measure employees' waistline every year, and the law is still active today. The established limits are for the men 33 inches, for the women 35 inches. But why does such a law exist? The main goals are to fight obesity and reduce healthcare costs. Fines issued for those who don't respect the law can reach millions of yen, forcing companies to also cut staff. But the most disconcerting fact is the government treats your waistline as a health crime, invading privacy with forced diets. From Japan's waist checks and from Japanese body control, we move in the UK, where the ancients and the modern laws collide in hilarious ways. First, we have the Salmon Act of 1986, which prohibits the handling of salmon under suspicious circumstances, like poaching or shady sales. The fines up to £5,000, or even 2 years in prison. Strange enough, right? But wait, since 2013 it's also illegal to enter Parliament wearing medieval armor. And yes, the law is still valid. So, if you bring salmon to dinner, can you be arrested? It's a bit complicated. And finally back to the icy law in cold Longyearbyen in Norway. Dyeing itself is banned. Since 1950, burials have been prohibited. You heard right. But the reason? The permafrost, the permanently frozen layer of the ground, typical of cold climate regions, capable of preserve bodies almost intact for decades, but that creates the risk of ancient viruses resurfacing, like the Spanish flu, which killed over 50 million people. So, what happened to those who are dying? They are transferred to the mainland, and if someone dies there anyway, the body is shipped out at the family expense. Not a fine, but a very cold rejection. These 7 laws prove just how crazy our world can be. From Thailand to Norway. Which one did you find the weirdest?